what do you think about Greenland?
What I will say is that the one thing that I always got to respect this guy for is that when he comes in hot and heavy, and he's just trying to strong arm his way into getting what he wants. Well, nowadays, if you hug or kiss people too much, you're Diddy or an Epstein.
Yeah, so don't be Diddy, don't be Epstein, don't be any of those people. And just don't get sick, dude, because you can either, if you hug and kiss, you're either raping someone or you're getting someone sick. You can do that, dude. It's not healthy for anyone. No raping, no sickness. Let's kill this new year, baby.
2025.
But don't kill it like the United Healthcare guy. Do the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Only Lawsuits podcast. This is our first episode of 2025. So to everybody who's tuned in last year, thank you so much for helping the audience grow as quickly as it has. And yeah, man, some exciting new developments. Mike, what do you got to say?
So Far is not with us today, sadly, but it's just me and Josh. And, it is our first episode of the new year. It's been, we have had some episodes pop out. We had episode with Shannon Snedeker come out. We had a few episodes with some other people come out. We were a little backlogged. So, those are
quite a backlog. We hosted a multitude of different guests toward the end of the year. And
the end of the year is rough.
The end of the year is rough.
Between running the law firm, the media company, the podcast, doing everything, it's a lot of work. We had, I think we did a late Christmas party for the firm, which was amazing. I love my staff. I love, giving them as much as I possibly can. And even those little things to where we just sat down and had a dinner together, one time a year, because we're always so busy, that means a lot to me. But it takes time, and running this whole process takes time. So I'm glad we're here, though. It's 2025. Today is the 15th, right?
The 15th of January.
5-6 more days, baby. Guess who's back?
Donald Trump.
Hell yeah, bro.
Donald Trump.
So Trump's coming in. Inauguration Day's coming. Some of the Congress and Senate and the legislators are going through some of the approval processes for some of his appointees. Did you see anything yesterday?
Pete Hegseth's approval process was quite contentious. He was getting asked a lot of rough questions, but he handled it like a boss, man.
So it was interesting, man. I watched it, and I saw the exchange between him and Elizabeth Warren. And one of the exchanges was, Elizabeth Warren was talking about, you used to say women shouldn't be in the military, blah, 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 blah. And, he was saying, she was pulling stuff up from 2011. Let's be honest, 2011 was a different time. I will say, I think the entire society had a generalized feeling, different than what today is regarding, gender roles, so on and so forth. So do I hold things that he said in 2011 against him as I would, today? Probably not, and in no way am I saying that the things he said back then was okay. But she did say there was a certain exchange that I did find entertaining, where she was saying that, you are about to be, oversee all of the generals for the country. And you have previously held out that if you're a general in the military, you should not be able to go into the private sector for the defense industry for 10 years. And she asked, well, are you willing to make that, agreement? And he was like, well, I'm not a general. So, and everyone started laughing. And I thought that was funny. And I really did. That kind of solidified me as much as it is, it kind of points out legislators that are currently in Washington don't know what the heck is going on. And they have no idea what is going on with the people that's sitting right in front of him, because he's not going to be a general. He's just going to be overseeing all of the generals. And what I want him to possibly say he's not willing to go into the defense industry for 10 years after he's out of office? Yeah, because it keeps things a little bit clearer. But more importantly, I think it just shine light on the fact that Elizabeth Warren kind of looked like an idiot then.
I do agree with that. On the other end of the spectrum, I do think that he has had a dicey past.
Yeah.
So I never want to include someone's personal life with their professional life. I don't think it's a fair assessment. Especially for any sort of job candidate, because there should be a clear separation between what you're bringing to the job and what's going on in your personal life. From all of the prior media coverage on his personal life, with his ex-wife, his ex-wives, the relationship that he had with his mother, a lot of the stuff that came out with some of the unsavory statements that he's made on women being in the military, so on and so forth. I don't want to place as high of a precedent on that, because I do think that, generally speaking, he is a solid candidate. I just don't think that he has the experience necessary. I think that out of everybody that they have put into that position prior, I don't think that he has the experience base. But I could be wrong. I know that he is in that position because he is essentially a Trump loyalist, right?
Yeah.
A guy that, talks up Trump. So, we'll see. But I do think that he acquitted himself well. It was a contentious hearing. He gave some really solid answers. He brought some humor into it. Elizabeth Warren definitely had it out for him, but she had some valid questions, right? So when you don't have an answer, sometimes the best way to respond is with humor, even though it's not like the best way to respond. And I think even looking at Trump won based off the fact that people find him humorous too.
I fucking love him. He's hilarious.
So he never answers questions directly. He'll sometimes answer it with like a lot of humor, and people will be like, yeah, you know what, man, I like him.
So but you made a really good point, because look, I personally don't know a lot of his backstory, and frankly, it's hard for me to see him make the jump from being a Fox News host to, running the military. But I see him kind of in the press and being part of the press corps or whatever it is, engaging with the White House regarding press or free speech, something of that regard. Yeah, I think that more aligns with it, because that's something, I expect from the media. But, I understand. I think he was in the military and he may have some experience with military. But I don't know too much about him. I think his professional life, I agree with you. Like, I don't see his qualifications per se for what he's been appointed to.
Yeah.
So.
And it's always interesting, right? Like, he served the country, and he should be commended for that. Any of our service members should be commended for that. But just because you served in the military doesn't immediately qualify you for the position to oversee the entire military. And look, the United States military is the most powerful military across the globe, right? So is he qualified? Maybe not quite, but everyone deserves their day in court, or in front of the Senate, and we'll see how he does. So
So look, another big topic that's going on in the country right now, and that's catching fire through the media.
It's too soon. Too soon.
California fires, man. Tell me, my fellow former resident of California, what's up? What do you think, man?
I'm going to be honest. It's a very emotional subject, because a lot of the areas that have been affected by the fire are areas that I'm innately familiar with. Altadano is an area that I used to go out to a lot to hike. I got quite a few texts from friends checking up on me, and friends that I have in that area, you know,
Did
asking,
you mark yourself safe on Facebook?
Well, I mean, people should already know I'm a Florida resident now, but it's pretty devastating, man, because when you see devastation like that happening in other parts of the country or other parts of the globe, right? You empathize with it, but you know, there's a clear separation between what's happening and, you know, your familiarity. Because I'm so familiar with those areas of Los Angeles, I'm going to be honest, like I shed a few tears, you know, to see Malibu be destroyed the way that it has, to see Altadena be destroyed the way that it has. I mean, it's devastating. And, you know, like I was saying, you know, I had friends check up on me because there were quite a few friends that would come to visit me out in LA, and I would bring them around that area, you know, hiking and, you know, showing them like all of like these different landmarks, and to just see the footage of just the entire area, thousands of houses just burned down. You know, I know like they put a focus in on like the wealthy, right? But a lot of those families that lost their houses are like generational families, multi-generational families that now have nothing.
Yeah.
And it's been devastating, man.
Being, you know, having such a personal connection with California and knowing the history, you know, knowing your history with California and how much I genuinely know you loved the state. You know, I know you had a lot of good memories there. Knowing that, I want to ask your perspective on the mismanagement of the water and the natural resources and the money for Californians, because here's why I say that is I haven't done a shit ton of research into it, but from what I've been seeing, there was definitely money cut from the budgets for the fire department. There was some new initiatives where they tried to promote, you know, some of the woke ideology into firefighters. And I believe there's a video, maybe you can find it and throw it up, about the current fire chief or something of LA, where she's like, you know, I want, you know, when you have a first responder, a firefighter come, you want to make sure they look like me. And I think she's transgender, or she might be lesbian, one of the two. And I say that respectfully. I generally don't know. But with that being said, you know, the first thing that came across my mind when I saw that shit, I was like, listen, I don't give a what my firefighter is. My firefighter can be a goddamn Dalmatian. As long as he fucking drags me out of the fire, I'm cool with it. Like, fucking be whatever pronoun you want. It's not a pivotal point. But what really kind of irritated me was the fact that when I'm hearing that they cut money from the fire department, or things that could help prevent stuff like this, and they focused on woke ideology like that. And then you also hear of situations where, you know, Gavin Newsom, rather than spending money on the homeless problem and stuff to possibly prevent fires, he sends it to Ukraine, or, you know, gives it to his friends in higher places.
I can't even be laid back about my opinion on him, because at one point I could say that I was a supporter of his. I thought, like, initially when he got elected as governor, I thought he was going to, you know, Gavin Newsom was going to do a good job. But, I mean, now he's Gavin Newscum. Nice. And I don't agree with a vast majority of what he's done for the state. And I'm just being honest, right? Like California, this has nothing to deal with politics, right? Like California in general is probably one of the best states, you know, in all of the U.S., just in my opinion, from a geographical standpoint, right?
Yeah, naturally it's beautiful.
Naturally, it's one of the most beautiful states. It's why I stayed out there for so long. But the mismanagement of resources has been absolutely insane. So you brought up the numbers. So I just want to give people some numbers. They allocate about $1.2 billion a year toward homelessness. That's taxpayer money. Californians, people in Los Angeles specifically, we paid some of the highest taxes across the country. Homelessness is consistently running rampant. They never had
a business.
It's become an industry. They never had a good grasp on it. You're allocating $1.2 billion a year toward this problem. The problem gets worse every year. And then you're allocating 800 something million to fighting the fires across the state. And those issues are getting worse. But here's the kicker, right? They don't even go through the budget for homelessness.
Wow.
They go through the budget for fighting the fires like maybe halfway or 3/4 through the year. So there's a
So they know they need more money.
They know they need more money. There's a huge mismanagement of resources. And you're right. Like he's become very inclined to lean toward the extreme part of the left, and you're focusing in on these woke agendas. And listen, these agendas at a certain point in time, they do matter. Those conversations do matter, right?
I think everyone's important.
Everyone is important. People deserve their voices to be heard. But when you have these major fires that are consistently happening, fires that were happening when I was living in the state of California, when I was living in the city of Los Angeles, seeing these issues arise, seeing the brush not being cleared, seeing people lose their livelihoods, people perishing in these fires, and now it's reached this crescendo where this is the most devastating fire to ever have taken place.
Yeah,
the heads have to roll. And people need to be accountable. And when I'm not politicizing anything by saying that you're a shitty governor, you have not put the resources where they need to go. And because of that, this is why you have reshaped the state of California and the city of Los Angeles as we know it.
Hashtag fire Newsom.
Yeah, fire Newsom. Literally.
So look, the other thing is, look at that. The mayor, the one lady, she came off the plane. She was in Nigeria while all this happened.
Oh yeah, Karen Bass. She's another one. Yeah.
Dude, her reaction where she just sat there and she was like, she looks like she was like a robot that got reset in the middle of like fucking answering a sentence. I was like, this guy, these are just fucking imbeciles. They're total idiots. And if I elected someone to do that, I would probably lose my goddamn mind, and immediately I would just make them resign. I don't know what's going on there. It's crazy, bro. Crazy. So, thankfully Florida had its history with fires. We had, a time where it was really dry and we were dealing with fires similar to, but we never had whole cities burnt down. We never had whole communities burnt down. So clearly, man, there's definitely something that could have been done. And, I'm no geologist, no rocket scientist, but buddy, as far as I'm aware, saltwater puts out fires. Saltwater's right down the goddamn road.
Well, the one thing I'll say with the salt water is that when you're dumping an enormous amount of salt water on a specific area, you're changing the entire ecology of the area, right? Because a salt water, when that water dissipates, salt is now left on the soil, and
I'll raise you one.
And plants might not be able to regrow. So
guess what? All of Earth was under salt water at one point, bitch.
Well, I mean, the Earth is also billions of years old.
Yeah, it'll fix itself.
But what I'll say is this: I do agree with that type of mindset that there are alternatives. But you brought up an amazing point, right? With Florida, right? Florida also has an issue with insurance companies, and that's something, and that's something that we focused on prior, right? So Florida's had this issue with insurance companies leaving the state due to hurricanes, right? Hurricanes being natural disasters, right? We can't, as residents of Florida, as human beings, we don't really have control of when a hurricane is going to hit the state, right? California, on the other hand, yes, fires are natural, right? But there's a lot more control in how you can combat it. And we should have known that this was
preventative measures.
There's preventative measures.
There's reservoirs that can be filled.
And we should have known that this was a major issue, because what has happened in the state of California, a lot of insurance companies have left the state due to the fires that are consistently happening.
And a lot of insurance companies conveniently canceled fire policies, literally right before all of this happened. So, here we go again. right?
Yeah.
This is a great example of how insurance companies are, they're useless, man. They will find any way to go around paying a valid claim. I think it's hilarious that people are making light of the situation and kind of using this horrible tragedy, for all these places burning down. They're shining light on very important things such as insurance industry tactics. I saw some clips where, it has the Jake from State Farm guy where the guy's like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Jake shows up and he's like out, and he's like, no, like a good neighbor, State Farm's there. And he comes back and he's like, no, I pay my policy. And, so that's the type of that, I'm glad as it is that people are losing their houses and they're losing, memories where their families were. Hopefully some light comes out of it, and, we can hold these companies accountable for some of the wrongs that they do to everyday Americans. One of the things I would love to see is that there is a national law that impacts the entire insurance industry. And I pray to God this happens, where we can hold them accountable with attorneys' fees and costs for every single denial. Because the reason why that's so important is in Florida, tort reform happened recently, about a year ago or so. And I've seen myself, as handling first party insurance claims, I've seen cases where the industry where you used to have attorneys like one of our prior guests, Jesse, he was an avid first party insurance attorney, and he would hold the insurance accountable for them denying claims. And guess what? When they took the attorney's fees provision away, there's no incentive for insurance companies to not pay people early and settle claims properly, because they're no longer are they hit with the risk of getting hit with thousands and thousands of dollars of attorney's fees. Once again, I reiterate, we, the attorneys, are not the problem. It's the actual companies that are a problem. You see what I'm saying?
No, 100%. And to drive your point home, with the current issues with insurance companies across the state of Florida, with the recent hurricanes, with the fires out in California, and with the recent assassination of the CEO by Luigi Mangione
or whatever.
There isn't a good opinion on any insurance company right now, because ultimately what people are realizing is that the insurance company does not have the human being as the human being's best interest at heart.
Nope.
And they're always looking at profits over people, and there's a reckoning that's about to happen. Fuck them.
So let's go to something new, man. Emperor Trump's coming in.
Emperor Trump. Wow.
Trump.
Emperor Trump.
It's a new thing that I believe that
Wow.
we're going to all have to give into it.
We do believe in democracy, folks.
But
he did win the election fair and squarely, but
that's what I saw. He wants to be called Emperor Trump. So whatever. I'm trying to not get deported, so whatever he wants, I'm giving him. All right. But there's some things that I've been seeing floating around the internet regarding him coming in and some of the things that he's saying. One of the things I got super excited about is when he wanted to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Honestly, man, I can't take half the shit that this guy says seriously. And when I watch him talk, I'm like, damn, dude, like, really? But hey, that's your opinion.
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather swim in the Gulf of America.
Oh, you'd rather swim in the Gulf of America? Wow.
Safer.
Wow.
I'd feel safer. I feel like American eagles will soar above me as I swim, protect me from the sharks. I do a lot of diving. I'm a diver now, bro. Diving in the Gulf of America, dude. In the depths of the Gulf of America, bro. Fucking blood, bro. This is America, dude. Not Mexico, bro. It's America. And I think it's warranted.
No comment. No comment. Yeah.
So he said, well, what do you think about Greenland?
You know, what I will say is that the one thing that I always got to respect this guy for is that when he comes in hot and heavy, and he's just trying to strong arm his way into getting what he wants. You know, so when he's saying, hey, we're going to purchase this territory and there ain't a damn thing you're going to do about it, the people overseas are probably like, hey, is he serious? I'm increasing tariffs across the board. All of these other countries that we're doing business with. Wait a second.
Dude, but that he's doing, it's having so much ripple effect. Because like when he mentioned the tariffs, right? Trudeau just quit because of because like, I don't know what it was, but I don't like Trudeau.
Trudeau's another one that he didn't quit because of that. He quit because he's a shitty prime minister.
Yeah, so, but here's something I think, I don't know if this is true, but I know for a fact Trudeau did blackface.
He did.
And what I think Gavin Newsom did as well.
He might have. Yeah.
I believe he did. Let's that up. If he did, throw it in here.
I'm going to show it on the screen.
I guarantee, I believe Gavin Newsom did blackface or some fucking racist. I believe. Don't hold me to that, but I think I remember seeing some.
No, he definitely did.
But I watched some.
I'm going to put an extended screen of him in blackface so people will know.
Just have it pop up randomly through the episode so people see it. And Trudeau.
Yeah.
But no, but like, look, the bottom line is Trump is said and has a ripple effect. So look, you know, I was listening to someone earlier Greg Gutfeld. I love the Gutfeld report. And, you know, one of the things that one of the guests, Tyrus, said, he said, you know, look, Trump just said he's not really going to do 90% of the shit that he says, but it's one of those things where like you ask that question, like, is he going to do that? You know, but it has a ripple effect. And I do think like this is having a talk where one of the big things I noticed, he addressed the Panama Canal, you know, purchasing Greenland and, the issue of the Gulf of America. But taking the Gulf of America out of it, I think the Panama Canal and the Greenland issue, that's a big deal when it comes to shipping and tariffs and the transport of goods from one country to another. Do you realize if we can somehow once again control how the Panama Canal is dealing with things and then control that part of the Atlantic Ocean, man, that's a lot of leeway that we can have because we can control the actions of Russia, China, stuff like that in the north hemisphere of the world. And it gives us a little bit more leverage that I feel like we otherwise have been losing.
Yeah, no, I see that. I think geopolitically, it definitely gives us an advantage. I mean, that was a great point that Greg Gutfeld made, where like Trump is not going to go through with like 90% of what he says, give or take. But ultimately, I think what Trump excels at being is a tornado. Yeah. And he's very unpredictable. So when you have somebody that's unpredictable, it puts everybody on edge, sometimes in a good way, because they don't know what to anticipate. The one thing that I'll say, and it's just about political messaging, right? And this is, you know, by the time this episode comes out, it'll be the prior administration of Joe Biden. Joe Biden might have had some America First policies, right? But that was not what was perceived by the vast majority of the population of the U.S., right?
Yeah.
We felt that he was putting other people first, right? Or like other countries first.
Well, I don't think we felt that way. He blatantly was, because there's a lot of examples where, you know, when you're facilitating illegal immigration, when there's clear laws in the book saying, you know, look, in order to come over, you got to do asylum, you got to do this things. Like, why enable illegal immigration where you're not putting in border policies to help mitigate illegal immigration? Encourage legal immigration. Say, hey, if you want to come and, you know, come over and you're an asylum seeker, fuck it, put in the application. Let's do it the right way. Don't just walk over. You know,
no, you're
that's
right.
What's happening.
You're right. No, you're right. And because I want to interject, because I don't want to lose this train of thought. It's that he's pandering.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I think, like, as U.S. citizens, we can't stand when you have politicians that are pandering, because there were some, if you look at his entire policy list, there were some America First policies. But why I bring this up is because you know where Trump stands.
Yeah.
When everything that you've been saying about Trump is by every sense of the word coming out and saying, hey, I want to put America first.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether a lot of these policies go into effect, at least we know, as a U.S. citizen, like, I know, like, hey, I might not agree with everything that he's doing, but I know, like, he's trying to put our country first. And I couldn't say that about the Biden administration. So
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, hopefully Trump does the right thing. Realistically, all presidents are garbage, but at the end of the day, we're going to get some quality fucking memes out of it.
We are going to get a lot of quality memes.
So, switching over to something a little bit more serious, with the terror, look at the acts of terrorism, man. New Year's, while everyone's out celebrating, there's a few things that happened, in the past few weeks that, I've been itching to talk about a little bit. And one of which is there's a new like variant of the flu. Let's call it whatever it is. I think it's a new flu virus. I think it's got the same symptoms of COVID, but it's got more amplified. And I saw, like, China was starting to shut down, but I just was like, man, what if this shit happens again? But it seems like I know a lot of people over the past 2 weeks that got sick here, and I think they got whatever was going around, and they seem to be okay. So that's a good thing. But look, people are getting sick again, man. How does that make you feel?
Focusing on your health, people. I mean, ultimately, it's your job to take care of yourself. You only get one shutdown. They're never going to be able to do a shutdown like that again. I'd be very, very surprised if they were able to shut down the country at the scale that they did during COVID. Mm-hmm. I mean, I speak for a lot of people when I say that COVID really transformed the way that society interacts, not only during that period, but for the few years afterwards. And we're just kind of coming back to, like, a sense of normalcy. Yeah. It affected people's jobs. It affected people's livelihoods. And states like Florida benefited because very early on in the pandemic, DeSantis decided, hey, these businesses should still be operational. COVID is a deadly disease, to people who are more, to people who are going to be a little bit more exposed if, like, they're a little bit more unhealthy. But that's why look, doctors are always going to push medicine. I push taking care of your health. Yeah. That's my opinion on it. Take care of yourself and make sure you're doing everything that you can in that regards. And I don't feel like you have anything to worry about.
Yeah, and more importantly, just stop fucking hugging and kissing everyone at every goddamn gathering. Like, I'm cool with doing a little bit of social distancing, dude. We didn't do much, events with family during Christmas, Thanksgiving, and even New Year's.
Well, nowadays, if you hug or kiss people too much, you're Diddy or an Epstein.
Yeah, so don't be Diddy, don't be Epstein, don't be any of those motherfuckers. And just don't get sick, dude, because you can either, like, if you hug and kiss, you're either raping someone or you're getting someone sick. Can do that, dude. It's not healthy for anyone. No raping, no sickness. Let's kill this new year, baby.
2025.
But don't kill it like the United Healthcare guy. Do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't do this year. Like, let's change the world. Let's be the change you want to be.
You went from talking about rape, murder to trying to be very inspiring.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
But no, I'm serious. Like, I stayed away from my whole family during the holidays because, we didn't want to get the baby sick. The baby.
Well, look, us being new fathers, right? Atticus being 4 months, Levi being, about a year. I know, like, when a variant like this is announced, it does put me maybe a little on edge because it's like, I don't want the little one to catch it. So, like, you being Mr. Gung-Ho about everything, to now being the father of a newborn, how does it make you feel?
Oh, I told my mom she's not allowed to come. My mom was pissed. My mom was pissed because, we didn't go over for Christmas because my dumbass brother was sick, and he went to my mom's house, and I'm like, nope, not coming over. You're not allowed to come over. No one's allowed to see the baby. And I felt like a dick, but at the end of the day, I was like, look, the risk is too much, and it's made me reevaluate the way I do a lot of things. Before, I wouldn't give a shit. It's like, look, I get sick, we're going to get sick, but it's one thing. I'm by no means am I like an anti-vaxxer or anything like that. Like, the reason why I'm so adamant about not exposing my kid to sick people is because he can't take medicine right now. He's too young for it. In a year when I can give him kids Tylenol or whatever and stuff that, can help him fight it and he's not going to be miserable, I'm cool with that. Like, yeah, you can sneeze on him. He can get sick. He's got to build up an immunity. Like, I don't want a bubble boy. And I want him to be exposed to that. But it's one of those things where, right now, yeah, I'm on edge because, seeing his little face and seeing him interact, and every single day he's learning something new. He's growing. I mean, he's gone from just sitting there looking like a potato to he's starting to sit up now, and he starts, starting to learn how to roll, and you just see him becoming a little person. It's amazing, but I don't want him to be sick. I don't want him to hurt, and while he's doing all this, This is a number one father right here, because when I had Levi, Shiana and I had Levi, I was telling him, because all of my friends and family told me that it's way different when you have a kid. And I remember telling Mike about Levi and being protective, and Mike was always like, oh man, when he's an infant, I'm going to be bringing him everywhere on the boat. He's gonna be going to the store. He's gonna be everywhere. Like 3 days into him being born, he's gonna be at the office working with me. He has been at the office.
Yeah. Like one time, Jola bringing him in, and now that he gets to see Atticus every day. Complete 180. Yeah, a little bitch. That's what you get.
Listen, bro. Look.
That's what you get, huh?
I'm a bitch.
How does it feel, man?
What it is, dude. But, getting back to terrorism. So, how about, let's talk about the bombing at Trump Tower, dude. Tell me that, terrorism is horrible, right? Someone trying to kill other people is horrible, but that guy was an absolute idiot. He blew himself up in a Tesla Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower. The truck didn't even blow up. I don't even think the windows in Trump Tower got damaged. It was the dumbest in the world.
I mean, I think he bought it probably because it was because he thought it
was a political message.
It was a political message. But I think what was probably going through his mind at the time was I'm buying this Cybertruck. It's going to be indestructible getting me to the location that I need to. Not knowing that, blowing up the bomb, it's indestructible
still
from the
be
interior.
Indestructible from the inside.
Yeah.
Idiot, dude. Look, bottom line is terrorism's stupid, and that guy's a idiot. Yeah. I don't even feel bad saying that, because I don't even think anyone got hurt.
No. I mean,
maybe what's the point, dude?
Maybe his pride as he died, but
dude, but I heard he killed himself with a Desert Eagle. Yeah. Did you hear about that?
I mean, I didn't read too much into it, because look,
they found a desert. You've seen my Desert Eagle, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. I love. So I'm a gun nut. I love my guns. There's two guns that I take pride in the most, and people probably are going to say I have a small penis for having these two guns. I don't care. These guns are my favorite guns, and the reason being is because I own a business, and it's a talking point. I'm probably one of the only people that I know that own a Desert Eagle and a Smith & Wesson 500, two of the largest caliber handguns you can possibly own in America. I'm currently in the market for a Barrett 50 for a 50 BMG rifle as well. Why do I have these large ass caliber guns? Just so I can look at them and tell people I have them, just like I'm telling you right now. But they are cool as shit. Desert Eagle, it's famous for being, very powerful handgun. There's a viral video where a girl shoots it. I think she breaks her nose because the recoil is so bad. It's really not bad. I think my kid shot it, and he's like 13, 14 years old.
You just need to have a good grip on it. Yeah,
just gotta have a good grip. Lock your arms, you'll be fine. But they're amazing weapons. But there was a few years ago, there was some social media people on TikTok or Instagram or some shit. They put like 3 or 4 phone books on their chest to try to like, it was a guy, he had his girlfriend shoot him with a Desert Eagle. Dude, Desert Eagle bullet is huge.
It's a 45 millimeter, isn't it?
It's a 50 caliber. It's 50 AE. It's big, dude.
Yeah.
So when he shot him, it went through all the phone books and it still killed the guy. And I've seen, there's videos on hunting videos. There's a guy that went hunting with, a Desert Eagle and blew the out of some animals, man. Dude, the fact that when I heard he killed himself with the Desert Eagle, I was like, holy, that's
talk about
an insane guy, dude.
Talk about overkill. Overkill. So, look, my stance on it is there are better ways to get your opinion across
than not killing people.
Than killing people or killing yourself. No one's gonna remember you. I mean, if you have something that needs to be said, be vocal about it. Be vocal about
a podcast. Do something normal. God
like
damn
this,
it, dude.
and just try to let your opinion be known. But I don't know. Stupidity drives people to do even more stupid things. So,
well, fuck, man. 2025 is gonna get real stupid, bro. New president, a lot of going on.
A lot of shit going on.
Looking forward to some more episodes of the podcast. Looking forward to launching our merch, baby. We got some fucking Only Lawsuits merch out. Look at that thing.
Look at this. Look at this hat. Look at this hat. Let's get a little close up on this. Yeah. Only Lawsuits.
Yeah, baby. Only Lawsuits. So, look, we're gonna start selling some of this. You want some shit? Hit us up. We'll get it out. And I'm looking forward to this new year, man. We did an amazing job with this podcast towards the last quarter of last year. I can't believe we're like 20 episodes in. I'm looking forward to blowing this thing off the door this year and keep growing and keep hammering out some business, brother.
Yeah, my brother. And to everybody that's been tuning in, look, thank you so much. The feedback's been insane. We can't believe that we've had as many listeners as we've had so early on. So, if you like what you see, subscribe, where, you can listen to us on every platform. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, we're on YouTube, Pandora. I mean, you name it, we're on the streaming platform. And again, thank you so much. We have a lot of really amazing guests lined up, over the course of this next month or two, and we can't wait.
We're always interested in having guests.
Yes.
So, please, if you feel like you want to be a guest, somehow, some way, even if you're in another country, part of the world, whatever, hit us up, let us know. We will definitely figure out a way to get you on, whether it's you come to Orlando, we come to you, or we throw you on a Zoom meeting.
Yep, sounds good. Well, thank you again for tuning in, and until next time.
Thanks.